Good morning.
Nothing like doing a little last-minute work right here.
Welcome to Broadscast. I know we're up to the wire here. Happy 50th.
Happy 50th.
Oh, my gosh.
That's pretty nuts.
We're turning 50. Well, we're not turning 50,
I'm not turning
technically.
50, yeah.
Nobody's turning 50.
Just the show is celebrating 50
Hug your mic,
episodes.
like Kyle
sorry,
said.
Hug my mic.
Hug your mic, because we're not close enough to our mics sometimes. This one's for you, Kyle.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised when you reminded me that it's been 50 episodes that we've...
50 episodes of Broadscast. Of course, that's 50 episodes in the last 4 years.
Oh, don't tell that part.
Well, we used to do, a podcast, and we were on a different network, and then we took a break, and then we got over here to KHTS AM 1220, and our podcast was reborn.
Yeah, and I think
we're born again podcasters.
I think we've learned a lot. I think the no wine clause has helped a little in some instances.
I do miss those shows. If you guys want to go back and listen to a few shows, you'll know which ones were at night.
And I like that we've added the no Kardashian clause. That seems to be a trending thing now, PS, in the real world.
We're trailblazers.
Yeah, we are. We're breaking the internet.
I notice when I hug the mic, it also makes me
sit up straight.
No, I think it makes me slouch. So if you're watching this on YouTube, it's not my fault.
Yeah, I feel like I want to touch the mic with my nose. It's very awkward.
So
but
what not to put you on the spot or anything, but 50 episodes. Name your top 3 guests, or name some shows that you've liked.
My gosh, I because it speaks to my heart. I've always loved the shows that we do about advocacy, and people that have overcome horrific situations. One stands out to me, Patricia Wenskunis.
Yes.
Who survived a really traumatic life. I mean, she was attacked and kidnapped
brutally.
And she's a powerhouse, and I love her. I love the funny shows. Tammy Pescatelli is always good to have around. Wendy Miller.
Oh yeah, from Playboy TV.
From Playboy TV.
You guys can find all these on iTunes and broadscast.com as well.
Yeah, we've been really lucky. I mean, some people have really come through for us on a personal level and professional level to help support our show, and I love that we just had some free-spirited conversations.
Absolutely.
And
I like the ones with Dr. Suzanne.
Oh right.
Those are a little racy.
Yeah. She's due.
And just like, when we meet new people and hear new stories of broads, and, whether that means somebody, like you said, who's become an advocate out of such a terrible experience, or, somebody who just doesn't really care what other people think, like who stands up and speaks their mind, but is also nurturing and kind, and I don't know. I'm happy. So happy 50th, Kim.
Happy 50th.
So let's move on. Let's move on. Speaking of advocacy, today we have some women some broads who are using their own experiences to be advocates in the healthcare field. So I'm really excited to talk to Marie Walker-Riddle and Shelley Ross.
Yeah, Shelley Ross is an old friend of mine, so I'm happy that she's taking time out of her life in Denver today.
Yeah, a little bit later in the show.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, let's talk about some broad topics.
You have a very sexy voice today.
Do I?
Hot. Yeah.
I was actually yelling last weekend, and my voice hasn't come back.
Oh.
Not in a bad way. I was just having a good time at a pool
I
party.
feel very somber. I don't want to be somber, but for people that do or don't know, I run a nonprofit organization that provides counseling to teenagers. And this week I welcomed my new staff in, and we've been training this whole week, and it's been really heavy. I'm kind of like I'm in that zone.
Space.
So I apologize, not for my work, but I'm a little like zenned out a little,
right?
Which is good.
And I'm kind of the opposite, because this week I started my new job at Fab Life over there with Tyra Banks and Chrissy Teigen, and your crotch is dinging. Yeah. I'm not sure what's happening.
I told you it was hot, your voice, so.
Peter's not Tyra and Chrissy Teigen and Josie, and so it's a fashion, lifestyle, beauty DIY show.
Sounds fabulous.
That I'm doing. I'm doing the marketing for that. So I'm kind of in more of a, I got to get my life in gear. I got to, get more beautiful, more fabulous. So anyway, that's our week. So let's talk about some broad topics. Josh, what is it? Is it Duggar?
I thought it was Dugar, but I heard Duggar yesterday, which...
It doesn't really matter what you call him, but he's a cheetah.
Yeah. He's a cheater, and he's gross.
He to give it some context, the Ashley Madison cheating website was hacked a few weeks back, and the names are being released as the hackers had promised.
Right.
And he is one of them. he's being outed as one of the 32 million people who used the cheating website Ashley Madison.
And I wish I would have written it down. Somebody, it was Jimmy Kimmel the other night, said how many men are in the United States, and it was like 60 million or 80 million, I forget what it was, and he's like, and then 32 million of those people are
there aren't 60 million men in the United States.
I think he said 92 million.
Aren't there billions of people in the U.S.? There are billions. There's like 5 billion.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I thought he said 92 million, and it struck me odd, but
well then, yeah, I think he's wrong. So anyway, so he's got a quote: "I've been the biggest hypocrite ever." I mean, it doesn't really matter what he says.
Yeah.
Here's my thing: we're flawed. We're all flawed people. I'm not on Ashley Madison. I really hope my husband's not. But it's not that people are flawed. It's that they live this life of being so good. I follow this, and this is what I do, and you should be like me.
Right.
I will never tell you should be like me unless you want to be a flawed, sometimes impatient spaz.
Right. Well, and now
and then join my church.
And now what's happening too is his wife is kind of coming under some criticism because she's opting not to leave him, and she's standing by her man, and so there are people that are criticizing her for her decision, and I'm thinking, none of my business, but then who cares, and good for you, and then why wouldn't you leave? But
it's really
hard
not
to get wrapped up in that. But
But at the same time too, like, let's just say I were in the public eye and that were my husband, or and that happened. We have a lot to work out. I'm not going to just go to the media and be like, I've left him.
Right.
Like there are
then you
children, aren't there? And there.
Right.
Yeah.
But then you have the other dude, Jared, from Subway.
Fresh.
Who is pleading guilty to, and I'm annoyed at the media for talking about him having sex with underage children. That's rape, P.S.
Yeah.
But he's pleaded guilty, and he will be taking some time spent in a lockdown facility somewhere, serving time. But his wife filed divorce immediately.
Yeah, but I think she's probably known. I mean, I don't know if Josh's is just finding out or whatever, but I think she, the Jared thing's been happening for a bit.
Not too much. I mean, it's all pretty recent. I mean, I'm certainly not that I love, what is happening to any of the victims and their families and stuff, but I love the swiftness and the fact that he's pleading guilty. I'm a little disgusted that his old executive director of his foundation was the one that helped him with the child porn and hooking him up.
It's disgusting.
But
he has a deal. A plea deal, because he's going to spend 5 years or something, 5 to 8 years, because he could be in for the rest of his life, but they didn't want to do that to all those victims. And so,
he's paying restitution to the tune of 1-point-something million. So each of his victims will receive about $100,000 in victim compensation, which
it's not a lot.
No, it is not a lot, but that's also
things.
unusual in our system. So I'm glad that's happening, and he has the money to pay.
It
so
seems
those
like
families won't be fighting forever to get that money.
Yeah, he's not fighting any of this, but it just it's funny because of his role and who he is that he's already become the butt of jokes. And I find myself removing the heaviness of the situation, part of me is kind of like, oh, is Subway looking for somebody? Because I'll do what he did for you. That guy's paying over $1 million, and he's got a lot more.
Right.
For losing weight with Subway.
Yeah. Hey,
when we're all looking around and we think that we can't make money.
Don't start me on Subway. My issue with Subway. They won't give me my sandwich the way that I ask for it. Every time I walk in, we have a full-on battle. So they won't be choosing me as their spokesperson.
But it's awesome because they won't give you your sandwich without.
They won't give it to me without toasting my bread.
Right.
It's the stupidest thing ever. I don't want my bread toasted.
I love this.
And there's a whole community online of people that want their sandwich the exact way that I've asked for it. And they told me they would not give it to me.
Do you think it's because the bread is stale?
I don't.
Subway, we need to hear from you.
I don't. I seriously.
Why can't Kim have her sandwich without her bread toasted?
And it's chewy when they toast it.
The struggle is real.
These are third world problems right here. Right. Yeah.
No, first world problems.
All right.
Yeah. Really, Kim.
Give myself some credit.
But coming up in the show, like we said before, we have Murray Walker Riddle and Shelley Ross to talk about advocacy. And I just wanted to bring up a little bit of Shannon Doherty. You had brought this story to my attention
Yeah, Shannon Doherty was in the news yesterday, or the day before. It's come out that she has breast cancer, and it came out because she filed some a lawsuit against her previous business managers that they were not diligent in paying her insurance bills or her insurance lapsed,
right?
And so therefore she wasn't able to go to the doctor or couldn't get it detected early enough, and so. I have some thoughts about that.
Yeah.
I just personally, have someone who is not a very good advocate for my own health and well-being. I certainly don't think that it's somebody else's fault. Maybe the story's a little convoluted, to be honest with you, about where the blame is being placed. And if she knew she had cancer and therefore without having insurance, she couldn't get the proper medication and treatment, or because she didn't get to go to the doctors, they didn't know about it. But then I'm also thinking lots of people that don't have insurance go to the doctor and get checkups, and there's lots of opportunity to get your own health care without having proper insurance.
It says it was undiscovered. So her management company, she's suing them for breach of contract and negligence, claiming it caused her to lose her Screen Actors Guild medical insurance for all of 2014 because it failed to pay in November 2013 bill when the undiscovered cancer was quietly spreading, because it failed to pay a November 2013 bill for the year's premium. So the policy got canceled, leaving her without coverage until the next enrollment period for 2015.
Right, but...
So once the coverage was reinstated, she went to a doctor and discovered that she has invasive breast cancer.
Right, but at some point, did she not know she didn't have insurance? Or that's where I'm a little confused.
Yeah. Well, we have to take a break.
I know when I have insurance or I don't.
We have to take a break, and we're going to come back in just a minute.
Okay.
And we'll talk more about it and other women advocates. Welcome back to Broadscast.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm glad I stayed.
Show number 50. So on the phone with us today, we have Marie Walker-Riddle. Marie is a social media influencer and fabulous, and I met her years ago when I was working on a talk show, and she was part of that. And so, Marie, are you on the phone?
I am.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you, ladies?
Good. So I have always followed, since I think it was 2011, your amazing voice on social media, whether it was Twitter or Facebook. And then one day things really changed when you announced that you had cancer.
Yes.
And so, did you know for a while before you brought that to your social media friends, or how did you decide to go out there with that?
Well, it's interesting because I just listened to your piece about Shannon Doherty, and I have to just preface this by saying that I have no history of cancer in my family at all, and I'm considered environmental, meaning my cancer is mutated twice. I had no prior conditions, meaning I have a nice rack, right? So I always had bumps. So I don't fit the common protocol.
Okay.
And I think that's a lot of why I'm spreading the news. So I was blindsided in March 2014 when I went to the gynecologist and they said, "How long have you had this?" And then they found some lymph nodes too. And I'm like, geez, I'm in IT. I carry a backpack with my laptop, and I have a very old laptop. So I carried on that side, the right side, so I never thought of anything. So basically, it hit me.
Wow.
It really, really hit me.
And I can only imagine. And so for all these people, and you have such a broad reach, were you like, I'm not going to tell anybody, I'm going to let everybody know? What was that like? What was your reaction?
Oh, besides shock.
Yeah, of course.
And then being told, I have a very aggressive cancer. I had the worst case. I was stage 4, and it had spread supposedly to my besides my lymph nodes, to my hilar area, and basically the type of cancer I have can spread quickly to the brain, and it's very, very scary. And for someone like me who is really left brain, I was just devastated. So I cried and I regrouped. Quite honestly, my family didn't want me to tell anybody. Because we're kind of old school,
right?
If you will.
Right.
I'm not, but they are.
Right.
And my husband's like, "No, you don't want to tell anybody. Just let's we don't want to talk about this. And I said, at a certain point, I thought, geez, if I can't help anybody else out there, what good am I? And I've always been a social connector, if you will, social media connector.
Absolutely.
And not only did I find out I had triple negative, not only did I find out then that I couldn't be operated on because I would have been killed died on the operating table, possibly because of the inflammatory breast cancer that I was diagnosed with.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, all kinds of things happened. And then I just figured I have to give back. And the type of cancer I have, being environmental, means that a lot of young women are getting affected. And in fact, I'm in an inflammatory breast cancer group. 29-year-old, 30-year-old moms are dying from what I have.
Wow.
And they're leaving behind 3- and 4-year-old kids. So when you ask me what was I thinking, well, if I can save one person, I would be happy. And I don't have to save millions. I don't have to save 1,000. I just need to help one person.
So, Marie, I am someone who believes that I need to sit in my poop for a little while before I can get out of it and help others and advocate. So how long were you kind of isolated and introverted before you realized that you wanted to make a difference and advocate for others?
I think right away. It didn't take me long to admit. I think I posted something like, God must really think, Jackie would probably know, God must really think I'm special because, and it's got a symbol, and I don't swear, but it says something like, I must be a badass.
Okay.
Ooh, sorry.
No, you're okay.
Oh, okay. Okay. No, I don't swear.
Yeah, we're just AM radio, so.
Got it.
I do, so Jackie's always correcting me.
Thank you for the reminder. So that was about, I think, maybe about December timeframe. I still had my hair, if you will. So quite honestly, Kim, I'm kind of an open book. I have nothing to hide. If, like I said, if I could just help one person, that's great, And I have an audience. I have a wonderful audience. People know me. I've been on social media probably since 2005. And, I was on the Ricky Lake Show. I've had a lot of things happen in my life. My dad has Parkinson's. My mom has Alzheimer's dementia. I've had suicides in my family. I've had all kinds of stuff go on. But I'm a strong, tough broadcast chick, And I think that's the thing. When you're hit in the gut, being told you have 3 to 5 years to live, possibly, and you have young children, and you have a business, and you're someone like me, I need to step up. If I don't step up to give people hope, and I just shrink, forget it.
Right. And you have such an amazing attitude. I mean, you're constantly out there. You're very vocal about what's happening, what the realities are. I think you really have stripped the taboo of being sick. You've really changed the face of somebody who's, quote unquote sick, and so
absolutely.
and you're a ball buster, and and I love it. But you're also such a light for other people. And I think that, what you are doing is so important. So what is your message to other, is Peter telling us we have to go to break? No. Oh, okay. But real quick before we go to break.
Yeah.
What is that one message? Like if somebody could take one message from this.
Okay, so here's the important thing. You need to think outside the box, not fear cancer. What I've learned is, I'm in IT. I've been own my own company. I know my stuff. And once I stopped fearing cancer and learning that cancer is a science and that it's in every one of us, it's just a matter on how you have to control it. And if I have the most rare aggressive cancer and I'm controlling it just by going healthy and doing what I need to do, I mean, I sent you something about holistic doctors. I'm working with a guy who's been in IT, who's affiliated with a holistic doctor. And the beauty about my cancer is when you Google inflammatory breast cancer, it's only about 17% of all breast cancers are this cancer, right? So I'm in a small few. And because my cancer mutated twice, I am a statistic all in itself. So I have nothing to lose and everything to gain to try things, right?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
We want to talk more to you, but we do have to run to a break real quick. We will be back with Marie Walker-Riddle.
Okay, thank you.